What's going on, everybody? How you doing and welcome. My name is Lord PeteyTV, and as always, we are bringing to you the Mythic Plus Dungeon affixes for the week. So what does that mean for you? What does that mean in general? Let's kind of get down to it. It's actually not too difficult. As always, we've been going through it. This is week 5. We're going to be going into week 5 of Mythic Pluses, which isn't too bad. As right around now, people should be getting their full 4-piece. People should be feeling out the dungeons. They should be understanding them a little bit better if they started from the beginning. Some people might not. So it's a real gray area. A lot of people have already gotten their 3K. Some people are still working towards their 3K. So there's a huge difference right now on who is where and what's what. But the number one thing I'm going to tell you is that the affixes, they're very easy to kind of deal with. We all know them. We've been dealing with them since week 1, or from the first season. So from the most part, so let's kind of talk about it. So this upcoming week we have our Mythic Plus 4 affix, which is going to be Pulsar. So what does Pulsar mean? Pulsar means you're going to get these orbs. They're going to be floating around you, and you're going to want to end up touching those orbs so that they can end up being stopped. And you're going to get a stacking damage buff, I'm sorry, you're going to get a leech and mastery buff. And then you're also going to be getting if you don't soak the orbs, they're going to be getting a damage increase and a reduced damage buff. This one is really, really hard to deal with, so I highly recommend you kind of jump right on that. The next thing you're going to want to end up going for is your level 7 affix, which is going to be tyrannical. Bosses are going to have more health. They're going to deal more damage. As we always know, that's been a thing forever. Fortified at 10, non-boss enemies are going to have more health. They're going to deal more damage. And 12 is the removal of the bargains, and the deaths are going to cost 15 seconds now. So overall, from what I have felt, because I've started really getting mostly just into 10s on both the hunter and also on the monk, they really are starting to hit pretty hard. It's something really you got to kind of take a look at, kind of note while you're going through and dealing with them. So overall, not too bad. But it's going to be, a little bit of a little change. So the biggest thing I'm going to say right now is if you have the ability to get into 10s, start getting into 10s. If you are having issues getting into 10s, work on 6s, get your hero gear, then go into 7, 8s, 9s, whatever it might be, before you can kind of get into your 10s. That jump of getting that extra affix really does a lot more to you, and the 7 affix is really going to be teetering a lot of people. So you really want to push to the point to get your hero gear, use your catalyst charges, get your 4-piece, go into 10s, kind of do your damage. Unless you're in a group that knows your capabilities, like we have one guy who ends up being really, really good at almost any character he plays, so we just let him do whatever. So anyway, my 2 cents for the day. Now, last thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the couple of small changes that have happened over this past week involving Mythic Pluses. The first thing is we're going to generally talk about it. Fury Warriors are getting an unannounced hotfix for Season 3. They're going to be they have this ability called Reap of the Storm, which is going to end up, boosting their damage. So they're really going to be coming up a little bit higher in those DPS charts, which is kind of exciting to see. So I'm very excited to see how that's going to operate. The other thing is that there has been a couple of changes for hunters. Hunters are actually getting a pretty big buff in a couple of different aspects. Blood DKs, balance druids, augmentation evokers, BM hunters, Mistweaver monks, holy priests, discipline priests, they're all getting buffed. So I'm kind of interested to see how they're going to end up being overall in the end of tomorrow. I actually have a couple of people going to start doing a couple of tests on to kind of see, since I mostly play hunter anyway. So be really, really nice. The other thing is that there are going to be a couple of nerfs to Arcara and Halls of Atonement. One of the things is that they've noticed that those are probably the least run dungeons, and they really, really wanted to do that. So the Trilling attendance The initial cooldown has been increased, and the periodic damage has been reduced. The engorged crawlers, the venomous splat ability, his cooldown is now increased. Avantex, which is the first boss, the crawlers are going to have reduced health. Oh my god, that is huge. And then the onslaught periodic damage has been reduced. That really was never even a problem for me. And then the second one adjusted an issue with Iron Storm, where the rim is visually larger than the actual safe zone was. Okay. Halls of Atonement reduced the number of depraved obliviators and depraved collectors near the shards of Horus. I didn't really see that as an issue. Reduced the density of creatures in the courtyard before Echelon. I like to see how that is. Enemy force requirement reduced by 10%. That's pretty big. Stoneborn Slasher enemy force value increased by 50%. That's pretty good. So what's this going to mean for all of us? Halls of Atonement is actually going to be a lot quicker, since that 10% reduced enemy forces and that increased Stoneborn, force increase. It really is going to give everyone a little bit of a bonus to see how that goes. So, as always, thank you so much for checking us out. Dream big, keep gaming. Have a great week. Please make sure you subscribe, you follow, you join, whatever you're looking to do on Twitch or on YouTube. That's where we mostly are. I greatly appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.